Good morning. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, May 11th, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. I'm Sharday Campbell, and I serve at Houston Community College as the Enrollment Communications and Social Media Manager. Pleased to be joined by my co-host today, Dr. Darren Baskin, who's the Interim Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer here at HCC. Good morning, Darren.
Good morning, Sharday. How are you? It's a great day. Graduation is upon us. Let's get these students graduated.
Graduation is upon us. It seems like the sun is trying to peek through just a little bit to shine on the day. And of course, our students that we were talking a little bit earlier, it's also final exam season and faculty are feeling it.
Yes, and we appreciate all the hard work that they do.
Yes, in addition to our students and finishing out the semester strong. Well, Darren, let's kick things off with telling everyone how to find Up to the Minute online.
Well, great. So we're live on Houston Community College District homepage, not the HCC, and on YouTube. You can also find us on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be watching. You can find us everywhere, Monday through Friday.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Well, just like every Thursday, it is Virtual Family Fun Day, and Darren is going to be joined by a special guest to talk about who we're featuring for Virtual Family Fun Day. But first, we're going to recognize National Nurses Appreciation Week, and we're joined by HCC licensed vocational nursing instructor Cheryl Brent. Welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Hi, thank you.
So happy to have you here to just commemorate National Nurses Appreciation Week. And I was thinking to myself this morning, Cheryl, I didn't learn until a very big age that my middle name was from a nurse that helped my mom during childbirth. So I think all of us have these stories of nurses that have just helped us through tough times, milestones. And I'm sure you see the energy of students who are wanting to be just that person to someone else in your role as an instructor in our nursing program. So we're so happy to have you here. We have so many opportunities within HCC nursing program. So let's kick off with letting people know what the HCC nursing program has to offer.
Okay, thank you. I'm delighted to be here. We actually have two programs at Coleman College. My program is a vocational nursing LVN program. It's a one-year program. And just literally just down the hall from us is the 2-year associate degree RN program. So, potentially in just 1 year, you can get your LVN certificate with us and then go start working as a nurse while bridging over to get your RN down the hall. Okay, well, it's, so
that's perfect. I think it may help those who are watching we speak in acronyms in higher grade, right? To let them know the difference between an LVN and an RN.
Okay, LVN or sometimes it's called LPN, depending where you are, what region. Licensed vocational nurse or licensed practical nurse. That's a shorter, more skills focused program. And the RN is a registered nurse. I think most people know what RN is. That's a longer program, and it has more didactic, more academics in it. It's just kind of a lot. Oh, sorry. I drank cream in my coffee.
Oh my goodness, I'm getting stuck there.
Yeah, sorry. So, I appreciate
places. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing the difference. I think a lot of students come in, they have different goals, right? They come in and they say, listen, I have a year. What can I do in a year? And then there are those that are like, okay, what can I do this first year? What can I build on? I think I've heard a lot of opportunity with even people working through, hey, I'm starting off as a CNA so I can start making money while I'm studying for, the next level of an LPN and then going to an RN. There are milestones that students can hit, but they have different goals. And it sounds like HCC is a place to help reach all three of those goals. But a lot of what we're hearing all the time is that there's a shortage of nurses all over the country. And certainly we heard it during peak pandemic. Why do you think there's just always a consistent need? We hear this every graduation year.
What, that there's a nursing shortage?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody always needs nurses, throughout history, people always are getting sick and needing somebody with specialized knowledge, that we have to take care of them. And of course, currently, there's a large shortage, and it's going to get way, way worse because, there are several factors going on. Right now, there's a large, the population is getting much older, because the baby boomers, baby boomers are getting to that age, the oldest baby boomers are reaching retirement age and, getting to be in the older age category. And now, they're starting to have more problems, more physical problems, and need more health care. And then, that's a really large amount of people. And at the same time, of course, a lot of nurses themselves are baby boomers too. So, they're starting to, fixing to retire. They're aging out of the workforce. So I think that's like 25% is what I read recently. But, that's kind of like the perfect storm, for nursing shortage. And that's only one factor. There was also the COVID that, some nurses just got so burned out with the things that happened. And then, some nurses are, moving out of the hospitals and into other areas in the nursing field. So there's a lot going on. So the need is getting greater and greater.
And you touched on something, we've been talking a lot about, May being Mental Health Awareness Month, and you talked about the stress of being a nurse and seeing so much sickness and seeing so much illness. And then just, of course, the natural stress that comes with any job that you have going to work every day. I think what centers a lot of people is to focus on the good, the rewards. What would you tell a nurse that may be watching that is just burnt out, doesn't know if they can keep on doing it?
It is stressful, and it is, there's a special type of burnout that healthcare professionals get. And I would recommend, always to have somebody to talk to debrief with, a friend, a social group, a hobby. I have wonderful hobbies, and it's a lifesaver. But, it's really important to keep yourself healthy and have an outlet. But, the rewards are great. They are. You can make such a difference in people's lives. Every patient that you take care of is the most dearest person in the whole world to someone. Like you say, you were probably named after a nurse who must have had an incredible impact on your mom.
Yes, absolutely. And you talked about, having outlets is so important. I have to keep telling myself, even working in higher ed, and I think it's easier when like your job is consuming. It depends on your lifestyle in life, whether you have the if you're married or if you have kids, like if you have somewhere else that you're demanding your energy, right? And I have to tell myself, you have to have hobbies. You have to do something outside of that. So I think that's just awesome advice. And you talked about those that are looking for maybe staying in the field, but maybe not staying in the thick of day-to-day patient care. And it sounds like you found that in teaching. So what made you make that transition into teaching nursing?
I love teaching. I love working with the students. I love that aha moment when I can make the light go on, try to figure out exactly what it is they're not getting. Studying nursing is not the same as studying anything else. We are our own little world. And, there are all these jokes about like, well, in nursing, in other fields, there's, engineering, law, whatever, there's a right answer and then 3 wrong answers. But in nursing, there are 4 right answers and you have to pick the most correct answer and, and stuff like that. But, it's different and, and it does take some guidance sometimes. I don't know. I like it. At a certain point in your life, people tend to want to, kind of move on and pass on what they know. So it's kind of a natural Erickson's type of task.
Yeah, I mean, passing on that knowledge transfer, and you talked about those who are exiting the workforce of day-to-day working in the workforce as a nurse. So I think knowledge transfer is going to be incredibly important. And as an instructor, I know you are actively working, preparing for our summer sessions that are coming up. So as we wrap out this interview, thank you so much for your time. I want to encourage students who are listening or anyone who is interested.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. I would definitely want to let everybody know that we are, this fall, we are rolling out, an expansion of our program. Starting in the fall, we're offering an evenings and weekends option for all of our courses, so we hope to make it easier for students who, have jobs or other obligations during the weekdays.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. So yeah, looking ahead, for short term, looking ahead for summer, but definitely for fall, a lot of opportunity. If you're just tuning in, we are talking to Cheryl Brent, who is the HCC.
You can study more because it's a really, busy and rigorous program, but if you can't, not everybody can. So
yes, yeah, definitely that difference between summer and fall and the accelerated nature of the program. But thank you so much for joining us today, Cheryl. Cheryl Brent is the HCC licensed vocational nurse instructor, and we'll have all the details about the nursing program posted after the show. Thanks so much for joining us, Cheryl.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Darren, checking in with you and your virtual family fun day guest. I know we were having some technical issues. We'll be able to get it resolved?
Look, my friend Kyle is here and he's ready. But let me just say thank you for that conversation about the difference between an RN and an LV. And I think that's an important conversation that needs to be had so students will know exactly what they're getting into when they join these programs. So great conversation.
Thank you.
Yes. And so that then brings us to the next great conversation that we're going to have, which is our virtual family fun day guest. And that's Kyle Carr, who is the owner of Rent-A-Ruminant, Texas. If you visited the Houston Arboretum recently, you may have seen some of Kyle's employees, and those employees are a herd of goats. So this is exciting. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, so before we even jump into the questions, I'm going to give you my quick question.
Sure.
Does the goats have names?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Okay, great. So how and when did the business start, and what were the reasons for starting a goat grazing company?
So we started our business in 2016, and originally it came about as an idea from my wife on our ranch. It was being overgrown with greenbriers, which is a highly invasive vine. It was essentially choking out all of our oak trees. And she decided, we should hire a grazing company to come in here and clear all this out because we didn't want to damage those trees and we wanted to keep the natural look of the property. And turns out there really wasn't one of those services in Texas. And she kind of, the gears started turning and she was like, well, why don't we make one of those companies? And so we got involved with a franchise called Rent-A-Ruminant that's based in Seattle, and started one up here in Texas, and have been going ever since.
Oh, that's amazing. And it sounds like to me that your wife had this great ideas, and you're just following along like the goats are just grazing along. So that's how it goes. That's how it happens, right? So
it is.
That's amazing. And you say so there was a company that was already doing it, and you guys just reached out to them, and it just started from there.
Yes, she had just begun offering franchises across the U.S. And this type of industry is very popular on the East and the West Coasts, especially out in California, where they're trying to combat for wildfire prevention and keeping ladder fuels down. They'll use goats quite a lot over there. In Texas, it's relatively new. When we began the business, it was kind of difficult to get business right off the bat. Many cities were kind of looking at us questioningly when we would say we'd like to bring 150 goats to your downtown and just release them onto the vegetation. So it took a few years to kind of gain that reputation, and now we're booked solid each year from about March until December, and we stay on the road going through many different cities, parks, and even private properties.
Oh, wow. And you actually slid that right into my next question, which was going to be what sorts of projects were suited for your goats. And so that's amazing. And when they go out to graze, like you just said, you just let them go and they just go for what they know. What is the typical time frame of a project?
Usually our goats will clear an acre of vegetation in about 2 to 5 days. And the projects that we're looking at are mainly areas where you can't get machinery into. So it could be rocky slopes. We do a lot of waterways. It could also be dealing with poisonous plants like poison ivy and poison oak. Goats will eat that and have absolutely no problems. Whereas, if you're trying to have the city maintain that waterway, you could have people that develop rashes or end up in urgent care if they're highly allergic to those types of plants.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. And I'll just tell you, I love small pieces of information, little nuggets of information, and you just dropped one on me because I did not know that. That's like really good information to know. And so why use goats versus other herbivores like sheep or even cattle?
So we like goats. They're a good size. They're very versatile. They can scale, rocky slopes and cliffs, and sometimes make me quite nervous. But they go up there anyway, and they're really sure-footed. We kind of call it four-hoof drive is what they come equipped with. And versus like sheep, so goats prefer a wide variety of vegetation. They like broadleafs. They like grasses. They will graze pretty much anything they can, get their little mouths on. Whereas sheep are very much so into just eating grasses only. They don't explore a whole lot. They aren't constantly, curious like goats can be. And then cattle are generally they're too large as far as these operations are going. And the cattle, their manure is quite large as well. So it leaves a lot behind. Whereas goats, it's much smaller. And what's unique about goats too is they have a very highly effective digestive tract. So most of the seeds that they're going to ingest will be sterilized through the process of their digestive system. So they're also not then propagating maybe unwanted invasive species that you're trying to get rid of.
Oh, wow. That's really good information because, there are a lot of areas, especially like around the Herman Park area, where you see all these invasive plants and invasive species of vines. And just to know that there's a company out there that you can bring and just clear all that up and make it even more beautiful and more habitable for someone who might have an allergic reaction is amazing. Like your wife is genius. Tell her I said thank you. And so we know how many goats you have, 150. And of course, we know that that they all have names. But let me ask you this. Are they all raised on your ranch? And are they different breeds, or are they all the same breeds?
So many of the goats are born and raised on our property. As we've expanded, our company has a no slaughter policy as well. So the goats that you see that's the only job for the rest of their life. Once we have them, is they will just graze with us. They'll go on the road, and basically all you can eat buffet every day. But we now have we work with a lot of rescues and donated goats. So we will take goats in, perhaps somebody that was getting out of the goat business. We worked with kids that are participating inside of the FFA program, which is the Future Farmers of America program, for anyone that doesn't know. And in fact, this earlier this week, I actually had a young girl who had donated us a goat last year who got to come and visit him here at the Arboretum. And I want to say that he remembered her because they had a little, he kind of talked to her a little bit. She got to take some pictures. So it was a really nice reunion to get to see them, meet. And we like to tell the people, that we get goats from when we're in town so they could come and visit us. There is a process. We do have to train these goats before we take them on the road, which it sounds ridiculous, but there is an actual training program where they've got to kind of respect our fencing. We keep them inside of a portable electrified fencing, and they've got to understand that, that's the boundary. And then when you're done, we'll let you into the next area, and then you can go eat some more. So that process can take anywhere from 3 months to up to a year with some of the goats that we have. But it's very enjoyable and rewarding, and it's always fun to watch the goats when they get to work and get up to climbing on fallen trees and different things like that.
Oh, this sounds amazing. Like I would just would enjoy just coming out there and just watching them graze for just like a couple of hours. It sounds so fun, so relaxing, and it seems like it's just engaging. So and you said a funny, and I don't think you did. You said you train goats. You're a goat trainer. I just want you to know. So that's amazing. So and we talked about some of the plants that they like to graze on and some of the things they could graze on. Is there anything that they don't like to eat or something that might be toxic to them that you try to keep them away from?
There are some plants that can be toxic to goats. Usually what we will do is go into an area and make sure that those are not inside of the paddock we're going to set up. And if they are, we'll remove them. Most of the plants that are toxic to goats are going to be things that you'd find in your backyard. Those beautiful landscaping plants and beautiful flowers and shrubs that we love to decorate our yards with. Generally, those are non-native, and most all of them are going to be toxic to the goats. Now, at the Arboretum, there's a wide diversity of plants here, and it's very rare that we come across something that's going to be, toxic to them. However, there are some plants that aren't just as palatable as others. So the goats do have their favorites. They will go after certain plants a little more readily than others. Right now, one of the species that we're trying to go after here at the Arboretum is called Yopon, which is a small shrub. And it's not their favorite thing to eat. So sometimes we get to the end of a section and they're ready to move, and I'm like, you guys, we got to wrap this up here. You need to eat this tree over here, and then I'll let you in. So it's kind of funny having that kind of back and forth with them sometimes.
Oh,
so they get quite vocal sometimes when they're ready to go.
So it's like you and your wife have 150 kids. And
yes,
you're trying and you're trying to get and wrangle them and keep them. Hey, look, Cal, this is so riveting. I feel like I can talk to you all day, and I'm not saying that because I don't say that to many guests, but I find this so interesting. And with it being part of our virtual family fun day, I think you should sell some tickets for us to just come out there and just sit and watch them. I think that would be amazing. There's the next piece of your business. Remember who said it.
Yes.
So, thank you, Kyle Carr, owner of Rent-A-Ruminant, Texas. We'll have your info and links to some adorable social media accounts in our post after the show. Kyle, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sade.
Yes, that is so interesting. I was like, I always stand in awe of people who like see an entry point into a market, see a need, and say, you know what, I'm going to address this need.
I'm gonna do that.
and then you gave him his next what they call in business vertical market is stressed out educators who need to just need to watch an animal do its thing. Like that's, the pet goat yoga goats are out here helping mental health.
They are. So, wow.
Yes.
So we are now in our news and events and announcements.
Indeed. I guess I'll kick it off. we have our media arts show, student showcase for spring 2023 as we wrap out this semester. It'll be a compilation of media arts student projects, including filmmaking, audio recording technology, and music business. It is from 6 to 9 p.m. Saturday, May 13th, and it'll be hosted at our Spring Branch Performing Arts Center with a mixer happening at 6 p.m. No need to register. Student friends and family are welcome, and details will be posted after the show.
Hey, Sade, you know, I love a good piece of art, so
yeah,
I might have to make my way over there. We also have student success coaching. HCC will offer you the help that you need. And the student success coaching is a free service available to HCC online only students, the online only students. It is a grant funded initiative sponsored by the University of Florida, which assists online students and increase matriculation through a more hands-on approach and some select classes. Check our post after the show for details.
Awesome. Well, we're also doing as we're at this intersection of ending a semester and fall and spring, spring ending and fall and summer registration being open. We have our virtual info sessions, and we're calling all future HCC Eagles, whether you are starting your education journey, or relaunching it, it could be a bit intimidated. So HCC is here to help with virtual information sessions twice a month to help you get registered for summer and fall classes. Our admissions advisors will help students apply, secure eligible aid, decide on education and career pathways, and connect with student support services. So be sure to check out details for the next virtual info session.
Great. You know, I love information too. So, but look, you know, we hear people say during holidays, it's the most wonderful time of the year. But guess what, Sade? It is the most wonderful time of the year for us. And why is that, Sade?
Commencement.
Yes. We have commencement day on Friday. Because HCC will celebrate 2 commencement celebrations tomorrow, Friday, May 12th, there will be no up to the minute that day. However, we will be having commencement. The HCCTV staff will be on duty at NRG to help make the event memorable for all of our students and staff. Join us for the HCC Spring 2023 commencement ceremonies this Friday, May 12th at 9 a.m. and a second ceremony at 1 p.m. We will be live streaming the event from the NRG Arena. Tag us in your photos and your posts using the hashtag HCCgrad2023, and we'll share on our official HCC social media pages. We love sharing pictures. We love when you guys tag us. We appreciate it. So more commencement info can be found in our post after the show.
Yes, absolutely. And after commencement, we will be welcoming our new class for summer and fall at HCC. So just a reminder that fall and summer registration are open. We have online and in-person classes. To learn more about the program, start dates, and options to cover costs, be sure to visit hccs.edu/apply. And as Darren shared, there will be no up to the minute tomorrow because we will be live streaming commencement. We look forward to seeing you on Monday, May 15th. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute.
Thank